Hello there, it's Karen here from craftylittlemisk.co.uk. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the UK, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made these lovely little boxes. They are for a team swap that I'm taking part in at the weekend. Inside, there are tiny little squares. Inside you've got a couple of little of the Elizabeth Shaw chocolates, foil wrap chocolates. The mint ones, they're very nice. I'm glad I've used them all up now to make all the boxes barring this last one. Okay, the colours I've used are Fresh Fig on this one and Tranquil Tide on this one. They're both current in colours. So we move those out of the way and we'll get started. What I've got first of all is a piece of cardstock. This is the Fresh Fig, and it measures 5¼ inches along here, 3 inches along here. I'm going to be doing some scoring on that in a moment. Then I've got 2 squares that are from the layering square framelets, I think what they're called. These are the scalloped edge ones, and they measure about 1 3/4 inches, and they're about the third square up from the smaller square when you look inside the packet. Okay, so but they're 1 3/4 inches. And then finally I've got this one as well, which came from the Eastern palette. It's not Eastern Palace, it's Eastern Medallions Thinlits, and I've actually used that shape to make it. I'm sorry about the shadows. This is because I'm having to film in the evening and I'm having to use the light that's in the dining room because my craft room is still not ready. So I'm going to do some embossing on here later on. In fact, I've already done it. I'm just going to show you the end result. But yes, I'll put some embossing on there, which I'll show you afterwards. Okay, then I've got my 2 little chocolates to go in. And let's get going, I think. So if I bring up my scoreboard and I bring in my large piece of card. Where's my, there it is. Okay, so with the long piece across the top, I want you to score at 3/4 inch, at 2 1/4, at 3, at 4 1/2, and that's that one. Turn it round to the short side is at the top, and so just measure down and score down at 3/4 inch. Turn it all the way round and do 3/4 inch again, and that's it. You'll be left with this. Okay, so let's pop the scoreboard away and get folding and cutting. Now I apologise if there's any crashing going on. I've got everything in my dining room and sometimes it all falls over because I've just got it all piled up. My husband's always going on at me about piling things up. He always says I teeter-totter them. Probably do, but never mind. Anyway, so what I'm doing now, I'm just pressing down all the score lines, folding and pressing. Okay, and we will have to open it all up again. Hopefully you can see all that there. So we're going to do some cutting now. So these 2 long pieces here and those 2 long pieces there, we're going to be cutting straight down on the fold line. And if you, on the score line, if you just do it just slightly on the inside and leave the bumpy bit in the narrow part, because we're going to cut that away as a wedge, just like that. Okay, so if we do the same this end, there we go. And yeah, like I was saying, these boxes would be great for little party favours or for stocking fillers. The group I belong to is Julie's Gems, and I've not met any of them yet. I'm going to be meeting some of them when I go up to Solihull for this convention, but I thought I'd make some little swaps. I know some of the others are doing swaps as well. So I love making little boxes. It's something that before I started with Stampin' Up, I used to make cards and do scrapbooking and things, but I'd never made a box, and I was always too frightened to have a go because I thought I'm never going to work out the measurements. But once you get used to it, it takes a little bit of maths occasionally, which is not my strong point, but it's not too bad actually. So I've taught myself how to make these boxes, and I've watched a lot of YouTube tutorials, so thank you to all the people I follow. Anyway, so you're left with this. What we're going to do on this side, we're going to put adhesive on these little flaps, and then we're going to create the box. Now I am using Fast Fuse, which is also from Stampin' Up, and I absolutely love it. It's very good at sticking down when you're making boxes. It's a very good strong adhesive, as long as you remember to always do that little flick at the end, because it's such sticky glue. And I think I've just made a little bit of a mess there. You have to be careful it doesn't get all caught up in the workings of the little cartridge it's in. I think maybe I'll just flick the other way on these ones. Yeah, that's better. So I will be using some 3D foam pads, or dimensionals as they're called in Stampin' Up. Okay, in a little while. Anyway, so got it all ready, so just make sure those folds are still there, and I'm just going to fold that in up to the corner and press quite firmly. It is strong adhesive, like I said, but I always like to make sure it's there, and just press to make sure it's holding. Now I've got that end. I'm going to do the other end first, and I'll do the middle bit last. So just down, and it doesn't matter which end is going to be the base or which end is going to be the lid, because it's all the same size and it all fits quite nicely and snugly. So that's that, and then push these two in, and I'll just go this way as it's gone all that way automatically, and press, and then this side is already there, look, ready, so just press down. Okay, so one last little thing to do before I go on to the next step is I've got a little tiny circle punch here. It's 1/2 inch. Work out roughly where it is halfway and just push it in as far as it will go, and just punch, and you'll end up with the little, I don't know if you can see that, the little thumb bit there, which makes it much easier when it comes time to open the box. You can just put the little finger thing. So there we go. So we'll get those little chocolates in there straight away, and then we'll go on to the next stage. So just close the box up. Now the two squares I had, if I just bring those back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a liquid glue, if I can find it. It's on my table somewhere. Working at this dining room table, there it is a nightmare. I can't find anything. But my husband is been very patient, or I've been very patient with my husband, I should say. He's not the fastest when it comes to doing DIY, but he's volunteered to do my room for me, so bless him, I'm not going to complain too loudly. So what you're going to do is just use a bit of the liquid glue to stick these down, and then you just sort of wiggle it around a bit before it dries off too much, so that it's roughly in the middle, with a little bit of white just showing there. So I'll just rub that off real quick so it doesn't stick to the lid. So that's about it, I think. Oops, I overcompensated there. Okay, so just hold it for a second while it takes. That's it. And then we'll do the same with the lid. Bit of glue. I might just want to snip that corner off. It's still a little bit rough there. I didn't do the fold very well on that one. That's it. Okay, so it won't show once you've got the card on there like that. I saw a box, a gift box, a large gift box, very similar to this on Pinterest, and I thought that's a nice shape. So I dug out all my supplies and thought I'd have a go, and yeah, they look really cute, I think. So just keep on pressing, give it a minute for the glue to start setting. It does dry very, very quickly, so I'm going to leave it closed for the minute because I don't want to pull about the glue too much. Although it has stuck to the end. Anyway, we'll sort that out. I've got some spares if it go wrong anyway. And then this piece here, so like I said to you, I was going to emboss it. I've got some gold embossing powder, and I've used the stamp set More Than Chocolate, and there is a little sentiment here saying all you need is chocolate, and that probably is my mantra in life. I love chocolate. I'm a bit of a chocoholic. So once it's all been embossed with the gold embossing powder and heated through, it looks really pretty like that. So then we just need to get some of those 3D pads, like I said, and I'm using the mini dimensionals here. The larger ones I found are 1 or 2, and it just was a bit odd, so I wanted to have like a square to help support the shape. So that's that, and then just take those off. When I was on holiday in the summer, I had lovely nail polish, and it's ruined my nails. I've not put anything on since I've been back off of holiday, and my nails are all soft and horrible, so I'm hoping that they'll get strengthened again so I can start. So I find it very difficult to peel things off, but there we go. Anyway, so last little thing I did was I just very gently, where the little score line is along here, I just very, very gently ease that up, and just to give it a little bit of extra dimension. And there we go. So let's put the lid on that so it doesn't dry out. Move everything out the way. So there we are. So if I just open it up so you can see. So there's those, and I've got a whole bunch of them. So there we go, a whole bunch of them. There's more over to the side, but you don't need to see any more. There we are. So a nice, quick, easy project. There wasn't too much in the way of pre-preparation. All I had to do was cut the card to size, and you get the big shot out and just pull out, you know, to get all these big shapes, the shapes that go on the top. But there we go. So I hope you like it, and I hope you'll have a go. And I'll see you soon. Bye.